What's up guys, welcome back. Today we have another childhood classic that's both quick and easy and pretty inexpensive. I'll be showing you my recipe for Salisbury steak. But before we do that, please take a quick second to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell to enable notifications as well. Alright, meet me in the kitchen, let's make it happen. Salisbury steak pairs beautifully with either rice or mashed potatoes, something to sop up all that gravy. Today I'm going to show you a nice and simple mashed potato recipe. In order to chop up these potatoes, I'm going to use this beautiful knife from Dow Strong. This is their Valhalla series. And it's impossible to find a better looking knife than this one. Just look how beautiful this knife is, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. The quality is unbelievable. The handle is super sturdy and heavy. What I love most about Dow Strong is they're constantly innovating, always coming out with new products. I left a link in the description box for you guys since you're always asking about where I get my knives from. I provided that link for you guys to check them out. So once you've peeled and cleaned these potatoes, we're gonna cut them into equal sized pieces. That way when we boil them, they cook at the same rate and get nice and tender for us. And lucky for us, Dow Strong makes great cookware as well. We're going to boil them in this pot from Dow Strong. Also, I have linked to that in the description box if you want to check out their cookware. So now we want to add those chopped potatoes to that pot and cover them with either chicken broth or chicken stock. This is one of my secret weapons when making mashed potatoes. It just adds so much more depth to the flavor profile, more so than you would get from just simply water with a little salt. So while we wait for those potatoes to come up to a boil, we're going to go ahead and prep these onions for our onion gravy that we're going to smother these Salisbury steaks in. So for this, you're going to need 2 medium-sized yellow or white onions. We're going to give them a nice rough chop. Obviously, you want to peel the skin off and then just chop them up. We're also going to add in about 6 to 8 ounces of shiitake mushrooms. And of course, guys, if you hate mushrooms, you can leave them out of the recipe. But for the rest of us, I do recommend going in with 8 ounces of either shiitake, bella, or white mushrooms. Just give those a rough chop as well and set those aside. And now it's time to prep our steak. So in a large mixing bowl, we're going in with 1 pound of 80-20 or 85-15 ground beef. To that, we're going to add a couple tablespoons of ketchup. As always, guys, the specific measurements and ingredients are provided for you in the description box below. We're also going to beef up the beef flavor by adding a little dry beef bouillon. Next, we're going in with 1 teaspoon of worst word in the world sauce, followed by a pinch of cayenne pepper just to add a little bit of heat, a little smoked paprika as well. And then whatever your favorite all-purpose seasoning is, you can use mine. If you don't have it yet, you can grab yours via the link in the description box, or just use a blend of salt, pepper, garlic, and onion powder. Next, you want to get in there with your hands and really work in all of that seasoning into the ground beef. This recipe is enough for 2 to 4 servings, so depending on how many people you're feeding, you might want to double the recipe. The leftovers are fantastic too for meal prep. Next, we're going in with some Parmesan breadcrumbs. You could also use panko for this, but I like the Parmesan flavor, so I'm going in with a half cup of Parmesan breadcrumbs here. We're going to add the breadcrumbs a little bit at a time. Also going in with 1 beaten egg. That's going to act as a binder to hold all of this together. So once we've added the egg, we're going in with the second half of breadcrumbs. And then just get in there with your hands and fold all that together. Once you got it just where you want it, we're going to pop that in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes. That's going to help these hamburger steaks hold together when we cook them and braise them in that gravy in a little bit. There we go. We're going to pop that in the fridge, and while we wait on that to chill, we're going to start on our mashed potatoes. So we're going in with 3 tablespoons of butter, 1 teaspoon of roasted garlic better than bouillon. That's going to add a delicious garlic flavor to these mashed potatoes. Once that butter is fully melted, we're going in with 2 cups of half and half. Working over medium heat here, just give that a good whisk. And next we're going in with 2 tablespoons of sour cream. Give that a whisk as well. It's important to warm your butter and cream mixture before adding it to your mashed potatoes. It really improves the consistency and prevents them from getting that sticky texture. Next, we're going to season it up with a little salt, pepper, garlic, and onion powder. Feel free to use whatever seasonings you like. Give that a whisk, bring it up to a boil, and then reduce it down to a simmer. We're going to turn the heat off and add in our Parmesan cheese. You want to do this on low heat because if you add the cheese when it's piping hot, the fat will separate from the cheese and then you'll end up with an oily cheese sauce, and that's not what we're going for here. So add the cheese and allow that residual heat to slowly melt the cheese into the sauce, leaving you with a sauce that's smoother than a school day with a substitute teacher. Once the potatoes are fork tender, we're going to break out the potato masher and mash them up. I'm using Yukon Gold potatoes here, but you can use russet or red potatoes, really whatever potato you like. Once we've started the mashing process, we're going to add in that butter and cream mixture that we warmed up earlier and slowly incorporate that into our potatoes. As you can see, I like to use a rubber spatula for this because I feel like it gives me the most control when I'm trying to combine all of these ingredients. Mashed potato consistency is a matter of personal preference. You can add a little bit more cream if you want them smoother, or you can add a little less if you like them lumpy like me. As always, season the potatoes to taste and set them aside until we need them a little bit, and it's time to move on to our Salisbury steak. So we're gonna form these patties into oval shapes. I like about a 5 to 6 ounce patty, but it's totally up to you. So basically the same concept as making a hamburger, except we're gonna make them into an oval rather than a circle. Didn't know you were getting a geometry lesson today, did you? We're gonna put them on a plate and then hit them with a top coat of seasoning. Again, a nice layer of salt, pepper, garlic, and onion powder, or whatever your favorite hamburger or steak seasoning is. Make sure you season both sides because we plan to eat both sides, and that's just the right way to do it. There we go. Say it with me, guys. Looking good. Let me know in the comments what other recipes you want to see this fall. We're going to warm that cast iron skillet over medium-high heat, go down with some avocado oil. We're also going to add in a tablespoon of butter. The butter is there to bring some flavor to the party, but butter has a very low smoke point, which means it burns pretty quickly. That's why the avocado oil is in there to help raise the smoke point of that butter and prevent it from burning. So place your hamburger steaks into the skillet without overcrowding, making sure they're making good surface area contact. We want a nice hard sear on these hamburger steaks so they don't lose their texture when they braise in that gravy a little bit later. Once you have a beautiful crust on your hamburger steaks, we're gonna remove them from the skillet and get started on our gravy. So we're gonna add in those onions and mushrooms. Turn the heat to low at this point because you don't wanna burn the onions. Then get in there and give them a good mix. We're gonna add a little bit more butter because why the hell not? We're here for a good time, not a long time, right? We wanna cook down these onions and mushrooms for about 5 to 7 minutes until they get nice and dark brown like you see here. Season them up with a little salt and pepper. And once they get nice and tender and caramelized a bit, that's when we're going in with a little bit of worst word in the world sauce, just a few dashes of that. That's gonna add some umami to the flavor profile. Next, we're going in with a little bit more beef flavor, just a teaspoon of better than bouillon beef base. Then we're going in with 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. That's gonna add a nice concentrated tomato flavor to the party. And it's also gonna help thicken up this gravy. Give that a good mix, make sure all those flavors come together and get to know each other's business. And now we're going in with 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. As always, guys, specific measurements and ingredients are provided for you in the description box below, so don't forget to check that out. Cook that raw flour taste off. That takes about 2 minutes or so. Just keep working your spatula around the skillet, making sure nothing's sticking to the bottom. And now it's time to go in with some beef stock. Give that a good mix. We're gonna bring that up to a boil and then reduce it down to a simmer, and that should effectively thicken up our gravy nicely. Oh man, that looks good. Love a good dark brown gravy. Got the onions and the mushrooms in there. Oh man, this has fall written all over it. And if you really wanna darken up your gravy, you can cheat a little bit and use the browning that I showed you right there. That'll help add some richness to the flavor as well, and help prevent it from getting too light when we add our heavy cream. Just a tablespoon or 2 of heavy cream to add some richness. Then we're gonna add our hamburger steaks back to this delicious gravy that we just made and allow them to braise a bit until they hit 160 degrees internal temperature. If you wanna get crazy, break out the spoon and baste them. Say it with me, guys, looking good. Brace yourself for a few trademark money shots. We're gonna plate this up with those mashed potatoes and a little bit of green beans, cause health. A quick gravy pour. Oh man, look at that. Got a little food porn on the Salisbury steak recipe. Bet you weren't expecting that. Now we're going down with a little fresh chopped parsley for a pop of color, and so you guys will click on that thumbnail. Going in for the taste test. Gotta get some of that gravy and the mashed potatoes. Hell of a combination. Doesn't get much better than this. Hell of a lot better than those TV dinners we used to eat as kids. Definitely a fork drop. Make sure you give your boy a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and the bell to enable notifications. And as always, thank you for your support.